I'm Spook, and I didn't get the time to record and edit what I wanted to, so you're getting Pokemon instead. Earlier today, I had my battle for the first matchup of the RU Grand Slam Opens, and I decided I'm gonna record and post because I don't have anything better to record and post within the next 7 hours. Alright. I'll be commentating over the battle, speaking what I think, and mentioning anything of interest that comes up. Okay, I actually will say this because this was a horrible matchup for me at the beginning. I led Chestnut because it was a generally good matchup into their team to an extent. Looking back on it, it kind of sucked, but I was somewhat expecting them to go either Cleavor or Mousehold. I was not expecting them to ever lead Zapdos, so that was an interesting pick. Let's switch in Moltres here and they knock off. From that I can tell that this is abandoned Moltres because of damage calculations. Now you turn out Cresselia into Necrozma. This Necrozma say here. Here I can actually just open up the team to show what I was working with. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, I will. It's not like people are gonna watch this. Here we go. Max special defense, high HP, 384 to be perfect multiple of 16 with 60 special attack. This way we have stronger photon geysers before Swords Dance. This set's pretty generally made to prevent Cresselia from being a problem. When Swords Dance means knockoff's 2-shot. If they tear a Photon Geyser, it's always a 2-shot. Unless they tear a Dark, in which case I got Swords Dance a couple more times, but I still win the matchup. Alright. As Swords Dance, they switch out. I predicted that, but I didn't really have any good predictions on what they switched to. Right into Chestnut. From that damage calc, I believe I could tell nothing. But I get up a spike anyway, then as he decides to stay, and I synthesis here. And now Cleavor is in bad condition. They choose to Tailwind. I believe I Drain Punch on the Yanmega switch. There's absolutely nothing. I have to switch out because Chestnut's one-shot. Empoleon, Air Slash, takes a little chunk, nothing too major. Then Stealth Rocks. Now at this point in the game I've got my hazards set up pretty well, and they have no effective hazard removal. At least that's how it seems. Seeing as this is RU, Mousehold isn't that ineffective, but it's definitely not the best, and they're not running default Cleavor. And I thought about it in the battle. Maybe they were running default Cleavor, because otherwise what's their hazard removal? But they're not running default Cleavor. Empoleon's in. Again, I'm aware this is banded, so I go in, hope for the burn. Unfortunately, my RNG's kinda not good this game, so nah. Chestnut comes in, knowing they're going for knockoff, it would have done nothing, and they would have taken Rocky Helmet Chip. Then on the switch, I get up a free spike. Okay, Necrozma in again. You recognize this from a few turns prior, but this time they decide to try and set up on the switch. Last. And Cresselia was never winning this matchup. In comes Cleavor to stop the sweep. And down goes Cleavor. Now then, Mousehold 4 comes in here. Tidy up, yep, here it is. Hazards are gone. Oh wait, Tidy Up removes hazards from both sides. I didn't even notice that in the game, huh? I always thought it was like Rapid Spin. Well, Photon Geyser makes quick work of that. I predicted they were going to tidy up because if it wasn't Cleavor, this was their hazard removal. Yanmega comes in. I know I can take a hit from this easily. So, goodbye, Yanmega. That's one thing I love about Necrozma. It can be either physical or special on a dime, and just kind of destroys anything you need it to. Okay, Zoroark goes down. I switch to that, hoping they'd go Shadow Ball. But then, knowing they went Surf, I go Empoleon, get up Rocks again. They U-turn out. I knew they were banded, so whatever they did I could have accounted for with my next Mon. So this was technically just supposed to be a sack, kinda. Or more accurately, it was supposed to tank one, but instead I get to do that on Basque Legion here and get in Ditto for free. Now, What is their Ditto switchin', you might ask? Their Basculegion switchin'. Well, it's not this. Goodbye, Zapdos. You deserve a good rest. I was banded, so I knew it wasn't scarfed. You switch Terra Poison so it can actually tank 2 and start setting up, but then right in comes Mr. Necro. Moonlight, how they attacked, it wouldn't have mattered. Necro always run this matchup. Moonlight, Sword Stance. They try and set up more like that's gonna matter. And here comes a big old photon geyser. And look at that damage, 88%, 86% on a Cresselia. Pretty sure this was probably a bulky Cresselia too, considering its damage output's kinda negligible. And comes in Basculegion. I won no matter what here, but I decided I want to keep this mon, so Terra Normal, knock off. There we go. First battle done. Here I was asking it's best of 3 because I've actually never done one of these before. Probably anyone who has can tell. So yes, best of 3, and that was the first game done. Very, very heavily in my favor. I think even the matchup might have just kind of been my favor, to be fair. Because like Cresselia, no chance against Necrozma. This thing would have generally been neutered by Moltres with good RNG, though RNG kind of sucked for us. But also, seems like they might not have been running a flying move, in which case they would have lost Chestnut. Cleavor, walled by Chestnut. Basculegion, actually not walled by anything here, but just clean sweeps their own team basically, and I have Ditto. On Mega, doesn't really prey on anything on my team other than Sword and Necrozma. Kind of Chestnut, actually yeah, Air Slash, Chestnut, sure. And then Mousehold, which is a lot of Pokemon on this team actually just lose to Chestnut, which is probably why I let it. Because this if it's not running a flying move. But yeah, okay, now on to game 2. There we go. This time I decided to use the team I have aptly named Dirty Stall. It's not a good team, but it's a team. Wrong game. Here we go. Good luck, have fun, you two. They lead Incineroar into my Quagsire. Obviously, this is a matchup in my favor, so I take the opportunity to get Toxic Spikes up, which don't appear for some reason, but they were there in game. That's just a bug. Oh well. So keep in mind there are Toxic Spikes on this side of the field. They go in Enamorous, I recover. I basically have a full health Quagsire now. Only problem is it's burnt, which who cares? Toxic Poison Cleavor, I go into Tentacruel. Now here's the big one. They U-turn here, and they get just the right roll to perfectly tell me this is an Adamant Cleavor. This didn't actually ever come into play, I don't think, but that is kind of lucky on my part to be able to know that just based on one turn. Okay, on to Salamence, Muddy Water, no drop, but that's fine. Into a Moongus I go as they Dragon Dance. I know I can take one dual wing beat from a Salamence with this set, so I stay in Toxic. This way Salamence is on a timer, and as long as we can get Quagsire in, we just kill it. It can't do anything. Dragon Claw, 32%, that's a 3-shot, not good enough. And then Earthquake, again a 3-shot, not good enough. So I spam Recover for a little bit. No, one turn, never mind. Felt like longer. Now Enamorous comes in and starts setting up Calm Minds. What's this thing gonna do? It's gonna Calm Mind, and Calm Mind, and Calm Mind. That was a misplay there, actually, on me. That was too. So actually, you'll see why in a second. In about this turn? No, this turn. I use Moonblast to do a good third, which is insane to Chansey. I use Seismic Toss, which is what I should have been using this whole time, because that's a 3-shot against them. Instead I use Stealth Rock and Ice Beam, which let them set up their Enamorous. That was my bad and very nearly lost me the game. And then I recover, they try and set up more, I seismic toss. And it looks here like, despite my mistake, I will still win this matchup. So they go, they use Drain and Kiss. This heals them almost to full. Seismic Toss doesn't do nearly enough damage. It's a very strange set, Moonblast, Drain and Kiss, but it works in this situation specifically, so now Chansey loses this matchup. It was a bit of an about face there. Chansey going from a pretty much clean win to not even close. This thing would just basically be full health by the time I was done with it. So, out goes Chansey, in goes Tentacruel. They set up. That was a good prediction on them, because I could have not switched, gotten a Seismic Toss off. Then they would have at least been shipped after the last Draining Kiss, I guess, I believe. Instead they set up, so now they're pretty much perfectly good to go. Alright, Airfall, they would have been chipped either way, I guess, but realistically they wouldn't have 4 times, everything wouldn't have +6. And better would have obviously been Earth Power, though, which they use now. Kind of forgot about that. They could have predicted that, but now I get Ditto in. And surprisingly, this kills. I didn't think it would, because 4 times special defense, but yes it does. And I believe that was a misplay there, switching Ditto out, because I could have very easily tanked a hit and killed Cleaver off here, but instead I switched in Quagsire, letting them get chip on Quagsire. Next turn, not this turn. Stone Axe. I got a free turn extra thanks to that, so that was very nice. Liquidation chips this thing down. Then, what do I do here? I recover. Misalignments. Okay, a misplay actually coming up very soon here. They Dragon Claw. Take the chip. I liquidationed. What I should have done here was Earthquake, because then I would have survived the turn. But instead I used Liquidation, which means my Quagsire is now badly chipped, and something can come in and kill it. I choose for that something to be Feraligatr, but Feraligatr doesn't do quite enough. Problem is, Feraligatr does enough that combined with burn damage, it just slowly chips away at the health. So after this turn here, if I recovered again, I wouldn't be able to tank another one. Instead I switched to a Moongus, which despite being max HP, max defense, can't take this liquidation. Probably because of the crit, but might not have been able to either way. Then I go Ditto. Terra... Did I Terra here? No. I just went for liquidation. They sacked the Cleavor. Necrozma came in, and yet another misplay happens here. I Terra Water Liquidation, which severely weakened Necrozma, but water does not resist rock, so Ditto went down, and I definitely should not have let Ditto go down there. Breloom comes in, substitutes. I knew I'd realistically outspeed, because this was probably a bulky Necrozma. Get Toxic Poison, substitutes, and Necrozma goes down. With Toxic Heal, I'll heal half of a substitute roughly, so it should be fine. That should be good. Now, I think that was a misplay there. I was under the assumption that this was maybe going to be faster than Breloom, in which case, oh no, I just lose the matchup. But I think what I needed to do was Mach Punch, which would lower it down to the point that I could then send Chansey and Toxic Poison and kill it. Instead, I saved this, went into Chansey. Then I went into Quagsire, which can't take a hit, and Liquidation. This thing takes poison. Now it goes down to Mach Punch. But the reason I did that, and the reason it wasn't good, was I forgot about a little ability called Intimidate. Now, because of Intimidate, this doesn't even come close to killing. But to be fair, it looks like it wouldn't have killed either way. And I lose this one, just barely. Okay, Stall's not my strong suit though, so on to Battle 3. Final battle, Battle 3, my original team actually, the first RU team I've made this generation, and this team. It's not really anything special, this is the single most generic team they had, I think. But they lead Cyclizer, I lead Overquill. They knock off, which was actually very valuable for them because their team did not like me having Assault Vest there. U-turn, I take out half a Cyclizer, but it doesn't matter because Regenerator. But what does matter is the poison. Now our Hyperion's on a timer, and all in all, I'm still pretty healthy. Rocks come up, but Chestnut gets free spikes on their switch out, and Incineroar comes in. Surprisingly, Incineroar is not actually very advantaged here. And now it is. But even then, I just keep Drain Punching. It keeps getting chipped. There's a spike down now. Rocky Helmet chip. But I think here I might have gone a second spike down. Yep. That's 2 spikes down. Even though it's only showing 1 because Showdown's bugging out at the moment. Overquill comes in. Intimidate. Just in case this was a standard physical set, but it's a interesting special set instead. And now here, rather than choosing to heal Jirachi, which I'd assume they have Protect on, they choose to go on to Pheasantipity and heal the barely chip it tanks. It was definitely a strange choice. I sack Overquill, because Overquill wasn't very useful at that point. 2 chipped, I would have had to get rid of hazards to get in. And we go Cyclizer here. Now the great thing about Cyclizer, especially in this tier, with how it's always ran bulky pretty much anymore, is it is the slower one that wins every single time pretty much, unless they're running a dragon move, which they never run, or a super effective move of some kind. But so they spin away their hazards, I spin away my hazards, and my Cyclizer here, usually they run max speed. On this team, which would be this one, I'm only running 204 speed, just enough to have speed base 100 with Jolly, or the other one. So, they're guaranteed to have speed. They now U-turn, and I get a free knockoff on their Hyperior, meaning this thing's going to be dying twice as fast as poison. U-turn out, Regenerator means that little matchup barely mattered at all, and they get up rocks. And just as before, free spikes. I send in Suicune on this spike, which, not a bad play, gives them a turn of setup. It's not like I can do anything to it. I get in Jirachi. They substitute, and I use good old Encore. Now they can only use Substitute, which means they're gonna switch out. You don't stay in when you're restricted to Substitute. So I use Body Slam, that way whatever comes in has a 60% chance of paralysis. And now their Jirachi is paralyzed and flinched. And flinched. And dead. The great thing about Jirachi is Serene Grace, Body Slam, Iron Head. Basically a Dunsparce with good stats. Body Slam, Para, very good luck on me there. Hyperior comes in and is dead to Iron Head, of course. Then now they have 4 slow / parried mons, actually 3, as I believe Pheasantipity was not parried. Okay, Parting Shot, they head into Pheasantipity. Then what do? I switch right back out to Jirachi, of course, the thing that pretty much hardwalls this. And now it is paralyzed, making for 4 slow Pokemon that cannot beat Jirachi one-on-one. Encore to be sure they can't use a better move. Then I Iron Head, resisted, and I just choose to Body Slam there, which gets a crit, killing the Incineroar. Okay, Suicune's in, the only non-parried mon. I use Body Slam, no para, but you know, that's fine. I survive Scald at 1% health. Pheasantipity comes in, takes a little chip, then Iron Head, half its health gone, flinch. Pheasantipity is now dead. Then comes in Cyclizer, and Iron Head, over half its health gone, flinch. And Cyclizer is dead. Then comes in Suicune, which Body Slam comes out about now. No para this time. And well, now what's their switch in? They don't have one. This is the one time you can honestly say a team does not have a switch in when there's only one mon. Alright, and that's game 3. This one was entirely RNG reliant. There was no question there. Like, I would not have won without. If I failed any of those Bi-Slam pairs, I wouldn't have won, I think. And of course, no offense to Live or anything. They played fine. We're both low ladders. Neither of us are all too good. But all in all, it was a good 3 battles. Went well, and I move on to stage 2. Despite of that, don't expect many more videos on this, because I'm pretty sure stage 2 is where I'm gonna lose. But not bad. Alright. See ya.